Good afternoon, friends. Today I'm going to show you an overview of AVEVA E3D. How does AVEVA E3D looks like, how we do equipment modeling, how we do piping modeling, and how we take isometric. So it's a complete video of creating equipment and piping and isometric. So let's begin with the demonstration of using AVEVA E3D. So what you need to do is you have to go to AVEVA and then you have to go to AVEVA E3D. So this is how the AVEVA E3D project is loading. Now what you need to do is you have to go to any of the project that you are working on it. So in that project you can use the login ID password and then you can enter in that project. So as you can see, I have a lot of projects here. So I can choose any of these projects to get in. So as you can see, there is an arrow is appearing here at the corner, right? So just click on those arrows and you can go to the desired project, on which project you wanted to go. So I'm just looking for a project, or else I think search from here. Yeah, this is the project I'm looking for. So I'm just gonna log in into that project. I'm using a system user. If you have a particular user that you wanted to log in, you can use the login credential of that user and then you can use it. So basically the username you have to write down, you have to write down the password, then you have the mdb means multiple database. Multiple database means you are storing lot of database in one basket, so that is your multiple database. So for every project you will have to create a multiple database. So by the way, if you want to create a multiple database, you have to log in into admin, or you have to be an admin. But today we are going through a AVEVA E3D, so you have to go to model module, and then now it is loading up the model. Okay, now we are in the model module, as you can see. So let me remove everything because this was my last session when I opened. So these are the things which I opened last session. So when for the first time, when you log in for the first time, you will have these things. Okay, so this is called as canvas, where you are going to model your items. Either it can be equipment, structure, piping, cable trace, whatever you want to model, you can model in this space. Now as you can see, there are axes are there, green, red and blue. So green axis is your north south direction, red axis is your east west direction, and the blue axis is your up and down direction, right? At the top you can see here there's a save work. So whatever you are going to create in this model, you have to save, then you can use this button, or else you can use a shortcut command called as Control S. Similarly, you will have a get work. Get work means like when two person are working on the same project, and if they did something, if they model something in their system and you wanted to see in your system, so first they have to save it and then you have to get work, right? So their data will be appearing in your system. So that's the purpose of doing get work, right? There are two more things next to get work is undo and redo. So whatever you are creating here, if you want to undo it, you can use undo. If you want to redo it, you can redo it. Okay, but don't use these things very frequently because it's gonna cost you. Yeah, avoid using this. Okay, next to that is the discipline tab. Here you can see the general, equipment, piping, HVAC, cabling system, cable tray, structure, supports. Okay, so basically in this video we are going to cover the equipment and the piping part, but the remaining also you can learn. Okay, so for example, today we are going to start with the equipment. So I just log in into the equipment. Okay, now coming back to the bottom tab, here you can see the project. So in the project tab, when you click on it, you can see again the Control S shortcut key for the save work, Control G for the get work, print, help, option, modules. Now what is the purpose of this module? Like if you want to switch from model module to draft or iso draft or spooler, then you can switch from here. Here you can see monitor, iso draft, draw and spool. So if you want to switch a module, then you can switch it from here. If you want to exit, you can exit from here. Then it will say save changes before leaving the model exiting. If you click yes, it will finish the E3D. So I'm just cancelling it. Similarly, you will have option file here. Very commonly use these things just to for a specific reasons like explorer settings. Then if you want to show the tube between the two component, for that purpose, like turn it on show tubey or rod. So in the hierarchy it will show you the tube also, but usually people don't use it, but sometimes we require, then we can use this thing. Okay, remaining from here in the option file, you will have coordinates, you have explore setting, form setting, properties, and the units in the project which you are going to use it. So that unit also you can set it from here. Similarly, if you go to the view, like there's an animation part is there, selection and snaps, so you can use the cursor and all those things. You can adjust as per your requirement, but don't play around these things. Okay, now discipline, so we have a discipline of piping and structure. So right now piping is here. Okay, so these all about the option part. Then if you come to the home part, so most of the tabs are not that much useful in a daily basis, on the project, but which is more important I will tell you in this. Yeah, so first one in the home tab is an editor. Previously in PDMS it is called as model editor, which is used to transform the design, or if you want to move some particular component or a group of component or assembly, then you can use model editor. Similarly, you have a move option which is very commonly used. This option is very commonly used, the position option, to place one particular primitive on top of any other primitive, or you want to join two primitives, or you want to move your whole equipment from one position to another position. Very oftenly use this one. Similarly, you will have a rotate option. In the rotate you are going to use the advanced option. Okay, so in the advanced option, like for example, if you have a nozzle at a particular angle, then you are going to use this option very oftenly. Similarly, you have a delete option. Now delete, if you want to delete a complete selection can be done by using control, and then you can click on the items you wanted to select. You can select a whole section. Delete current element, or the C members. C members means when you open a list and you add a number of item in the list, and if you want to delete those particular items, then you can delete the C members. Or for example, C members you can delete like for example, if you have a zone, sorry, if you have a equipment, and inside equipment you want to delete everything, then you can use this C member. Okay, but the commonly used one is current element, and that's the best practice because you don't know which one you selected by mistake and it can be deleted. Okay, so be aware of before deleting anything. So most commonly used is current element. Then you have a measure tab. So measure tab, we are going to use this distance option. In the distance option, I will explain you. There are two things in the distance option. One is called as element and snaps. Okay, so these 1 2 3 4 and these fours are used together. So if it is element, so then it will be element and snap. If it is graphics, then it will be graphics and cursor. So if I click on element, then I need to click on snap. And what is the purpose of this one is, if you want to calculate a distance from center to center, then only you can use this element and snap. Because if you use this element snap and you can click anywhere, it will pick the center point only. After this, there is a graphics and cursor option, and the benefit of this one is like you can select the p points, you can select the edges, and you can select the corners. Okay, so these two are most commonly used method for calculating the distance. Okay, now moving on to that, there is one more very important thing that is called as attributes. So just click on it, attributes, so you will have an attribute form here. Similarly, if you go to the tools option and then you have a command window, so just click on that command window. You can see both the tabs are here, command window and attribute window. Right, the next thing that you need to do is you have to add the explorer. So you need to add the model explorer. So model explorer will be on the left side, and as you can see here, the first the topmost hierarchy in the hierarchy of this 3D modeling, the hierarchy, the topmost part is model world, and below that you will have side, zone, and remaining things, as you can see here. Right, so from the tools you need models and command, right, and from the home button you need attributes. So these three things must be there on your canvas. Okay, Right, moving on in the view part, like you are going to use this graphic options where very oftenly. Like what is the use of this one? In the graphic option you have a representation, and from the representation you have this insulation and obstruction. So if you want to see the insulation in the model, from here you can use and select 75%, and if you want to see the obstruction you can use it and use whatever percent you want, and then you have to apply it. Now insulation will be shown only when the insulation spec is given to a pipe. Obstruction is only shown when the obstruction is given in the catalog. Okay, so by that only you can switch turn it on, and then you can see set the percentage how opaque you wanted to see that. Then you can set the percentage of that. Then just click apply and it will be done. So from the view tab, this is the most commonly used function that we are going to use it, correct? Okay, now there is one more option to add and remove items from the screen. Okay, so if you want to remove something, like for example I have a piping here. So let us see, this is my piping and I want to remove this one. So remove C. Okay, and there is one more thing to remove and add, that is the command method which I prefer always. So remove CE, rem CE. Okay, so before that first you need to add it, and then you have to type the command and then see it's gone. Now similarly you want to add it, you can add it like this, or else you can simply click on the pipe and then drag it on the screen. So it is also added in that way. So this is again the important thing that you're going to use from here. Similarly in the manage section you are not going to use most of the things, but yeah, one is called DB listing. Now the benefit of DB listing is like copying something from this project and pasting in another project. So for example, I want to copy this pipe, I want to use this pipe in my another project. So what you are going to do is you have to click on the DB listing part, then you have to add that particular pipe. So just go add current element. Now as you can see, this is the path where it is going to be stored. So if you want to choose your own path, you can choose it and save it on a desktop. Make sure change the line file name. Okay, so let me give it a pipe. Okay, and just you can save it, so it will save in the desktop, and just click apply. Just simply click apply. So what happened, it will copy this pipe, and then if you want to, let me apply it. So it's already saved. Yeah, it's already saved. Now let me do one thing, let me delete this pipe from here. Before that, let me save it, save my work. And I just deleted this pipe from here. Now as you can see, I have this thing in my desktop. So what I'm going to do here is I will open my E3D. Let me make it smaller. Open my command window. Okay, be on the zone level and just simply drag this pipe text file here. Okay, it says already used, so there is some pipe which is already used here, but yeah, it worked. So yeah, if the name is already there, then it will not copy it, but yeah, this is the way you can create a pipe. I think this is the same number. Let me first delete it and then save work. I think then it will work, because yeah, then let me clear all this small text and then put it here. Okay, what is saying is a new pipe with this name is already created. So it's already created, but I don't know why this second pipe is coming up. So let me open this text file and let's check out what is the problem in that. Okay, so to new pipe. Okay, so it is going to create a new pipe here. Okay, before that, let me check, copy the name of this before, and close the window, and I will delete this pipe, save my work, and then clear, and then I will paste the pipe name. So it is now saying undefined name. I hope so. Now it should work. Already used, so this name is somewhere, it is already used, this name. Okay, so let me check where it is used. But anyway, this is the way to use the DB list. If the name is already present in the project somewhere, so it will say that it is but eventually I think it is creating a pipe. Yeah, pipe is created. See, the pipe is created at the same location, but I don't know, there is some errors in the macro file. Macro file means this is nothing but a macro file only. Okay, so very commonly used word in the E3D world is macros, right? So I hope there will be any command which says, okay, now I got it. What is the problem? Actually the text file is wrong. Why? Because as you can see here, see, this line has this macro has to be end here, but after this actually I clicked 2 times, that's why it is saying again. See this one. So what I can do here is, okay, I got it. So let me do a again DB listing of this particular pipe, right? And I will go here, and now this time I will just type name like that in the desktop, and then click it's not selected, yeah, and apply, and now add this current pipe and just click apply and cancel only once. Okay, now I'm going to save my work, and then I'm going to delete this and again save my work. Now I hope this time it will not disappoint me. See, yeah, see, so without any error it's created. So this is how you're going to use the DB listing part. Okay, and from the design aid nothing much required. Similarly from the general, okay, in general you are going to use this one for creating your site and zone. Okay, so basically I used to create any site or zone with the command method. So there is a command for that, new site. Just click on that, new site is created. If you want to give a name, you can give a name, a new name like VIS, and then if you want to create a zone, so you can go new zone, and then you can give a name of that VIS dash PIP, right? So either you can use in this way command method, or else you can go to site, and then you have to give the site name ABC. Okay, and just click OK. So ABC site is created. Be on the site and then click on zone, and then you have to create a zone name like ABC dash PIP, and OK. But eventually what happened, your administrator, your E3D admin, he creates this site name because he doesn't allow you to delete this site. Okay, so that there is a access control right is there for every users. Okay, so you have a limitation, so it is set by the admin, right? Okay, so from general you are going to use site and zone part. Then coming to the equipment, so from here you are going to create any equipment. So let me clear my screen first, remove C. Okay, to create any equipment, the first basic thing that you need to understand here is there are primitives. Primitives means what? Primitive means your shape. Okay, so let me open notepad for you. So this is my notepad. So what are the basic primitives which we are going to use to create a equipment? Those are box, then cylinder, then dish, and then cone. So these are the most important and the most commonly used primitive to use to create any equipment. Okay, now box. So always remember, if you are fond of using command methods, then this one is for you. Otherwise you can use the shapes here, and then you can create the equipment. But I mostly use command method because it is so easy for me to understand and so easy for me to perform. So to create a box, there are three things you need to learn, or you need to remember. That is the attributes of a box. So what are the three attributes? X length, then it is y length, and then it is z length. If you fill the values in this parameter like x length, y length, and z length, your box will be created. So let me demonstrate you how to create a box. Okay, so I have a site of equipment here, and I have a zone of equipment here, and I can create equipment from here also. Either you can create it from here, create equipment, and then you can give the name of the equipment, like whatever the name you wanted to give. Let us say D-1001, enter, and then it is asking for the coordinates and all those things and all the description and all those things. You can fill it right now, but it's better to don't give any coordinate because eventually we have to change the equipment ID point. So just give the name and just click OK. So your equipment is ready here, or else you can create your equipment in this way, new EQUIP, and then enter, and then you can give the name name slash d dash 1 10,001. Okay, so there are two methods of creating equipment. Either go from here, or either you can use the command method. So you can choose which one is easy for you. Okay, command method is easy for me, so I prefer that. So I was in a equipment. Now inside the equipment I need to create a box, but before that let me clear my screen. So remove all, my screen is cleared. Be on the equipment, and I want to create a box. So either you can use this option, create box, okay, and or else you can use here new box. Simply type new box. Very easy, very simple to understand. New box. Box is created here, but you can't see any shape here. You can't see any shape here. Okay, meanwhile whenever you create something, it will create at 000 only. It will create at 000. Okay, so this box is also going to create at this place. So go to the box. Now in the attribute section you can see x length, y length, z length. If I enter value here, let us say 1000. In the y length let us say again 1000, and in the z length let us say again 1000. So I can see a box is appearing here. You can use the same command here also. So I be on the box, and you can type x length, let us say 2000, y length let us say 5000, and z length let us say 2000. See, so this is gonna change the size of the box by using command. If you want to do any alteration in this, again double click on that, and you can change the length or whatever you value you want to change, you can change it. Or else you can go to the attribute and you can enter your value, whatever value. Let us say I want to make it 5000, so you can make it 5000. Yeah, so there are multiple ways of creating a box. Similarly, now okay, now this time I want to move this box at a particular direction by a particular distance. So as you can see here, west, east, up, down, south, north, correct? Yeah, these are my directions. So I want to move this pink box towards this way. Now what is this way? First of all, it's a red line, so definitely it's east and west. Okay, from 0 it is going towards the left hand side. From 0 it is going toward left hand side. So as you can see here, from 0 the left hand side is west, right? So I have to type a command by west. How much? Let us say 5000. 5000. Every the value you are writing here is in mm only. So 5000 means 5 meter. Okay, you can't write w5 and that's it. So it will not calculate as 5 meter, it will consider as 5 only. So 5000 and then you have to write down this word wrt. Wrt means with respect to world. World means slash asterisk. Okay, so slash asterisk means world. As you can see here, there is a asterisk sign here. Can you see? So asterisk means world. So with respect to world, move this box by west. How many? How much? 5000. So it is moved here. Correct? Now similarly, if I let me reduce the dimension of this one, make it 1000, make it 1000, and make it 1000. Yeah, you can see the dimension is reduced then and there. Okay, now let's make a cylinder. So how to make a cylinder? Similar, in a similar fashion. New silly. Silly is a short term use for cylinder. Okay, minimum 4 characters is required. New cylinder. Now for the cylinder, what are the attributes you needed? So that is called as height and dia. Height and dia is required for a cylinder to create. So let's create a cylinder. So I have a cylinder here. Now if I type height, I am not going to type full name because minimum character is fine enough for the commands. Okay, so height is equals to, I want a height of a cylinder to be 5000 and a dia to be 2000. So you can see here height and cylinder is when you give a height and dia, the cylinder is appeared here. Now similarly, I want to move this cylinder in the east direction. So by east, how much? 5000. Let us say 5000 and slash star enter. So it is moved by here. Similarly, if you want to move in the north direction, you can move in the north direction also. Let's create one more primitive and then we'll move in north direction. The next one is dish. So to create a dish, you need a dia, you need a radius, and you need a height to create a dish. Okay, similarly for cylinder, you can go to the attribute and you can see height and diameter is given here. If you do changes here, it will change the value of a cylinder. Similarly, now I want to create a dish. So again, new dish, enter. Okay, now as you can go to the attribute, now you can see dia, height and radius. So let us say I want a dia of 2 meter, right? Height of, let us say, 100, and a radius of, let us say, 50. So this is my dish. Okay, now you can play here. Okay, sometimes what happen, when you go in the reality, like reality means like when you have a vendor drawing, and in the vendor drawing, if they didn't give you the height of the dish, how you gonna calculate the height of the dish? So height of the dish is calculated, is height is equals to dia divided by 4. So what is the dia of a dish? We consider here as 2000. So what will be the height? 500. What will be the height? 500. And the radius is equals to dia divided by 10. So what is the radius as per this calculation? What will be the radius? So 2000 divided by 10, it means 200. So this is the radius of a dish. So this is how you're gonna create a dish if the height is not given in the GA drawing. Okay, now let's move this to by north. So let me move this one to by north. So by north, let us say 5000 WRT slash star, enter. Okay, now let's come up to the next primitive, that is cone. So again, new cone, enter. Now what are the attributes for the cone? So there will be d top, d bottom and height. So say d top, d bottom and height. So d bottom is diameter at the top side, diameter at the bottom side, and the height. So let us say 500, diameter at the bottom, let us say 1000, and the height, let us say 500. So this is your cone. You can change the value, again you can play with the value. So this is how you're gonna create the primitives. Now I just change it to south and then enter. So this is how you're gonna create the 4 basic primitive. Now with the help of this 4 basic primitive, you can create any of the equipments. Okay, any of the equipment you can create with this 4 basic primitive. So let's create one equipment. Okay, before that let me remove it. So remove all. Okay, I have one more equipment here. So let's create a equipment. So before that, let me draw how does it look like in the paint. Okay, so I have a equipment. It's a drum. It's a horizontal drum. So this is how I'm going to create one equipment. Right, and this is a saddle support from the center line of the equipment. Okay, and I'm going to consider random values because there is no dimension given here. So let us consider the total length of this one is, let us say, 5000. The L is equals to length is equals to 5000, and the dia of this one is equals to let us say 2000. Okay, dia means OD. Okay, OD is equals to 2000, right? And then we will have create one nozzle, okay, later on. So in this equipment I want to create a cylinder first. Okay, so let me go with the command method. So new silly, enter. And I want to create, so for cylinder, what are the attributes you needed to create? Height means your length. So let us say height is 5000, and you can say you can write the next command in the same line, dia is equals to 2000. So at one instance you can create the cylinder. Now this is cylinder is in vertical direction. I want to rotate this cylinder in the horizontal direction. Okay, either in the red axis or in the green axis. Okay, but before that let me do one thing. There is a command to see the axis. So command is axis at CE. As you can see here, this is my axis, north, east, up, and northeast and up. Okay, so I want to rotate this particular cylinder in the red axis, means east and west. So which axis is perpendicular to east and west? North. Okay, north. In the 2D plane, north axis is perpendicular. So I will write a command, rotate by 90 about what? about north. So north means Y. Enter. So it is rotated. Correct? So this is how you're gonna rotate it, right? Or else if you want to rotate in from this manner, so you can rotate, advance, then you have to go to cursor, element, click on the cylinder. Okay, then you have to give the angle 90, and before that you have to check the axis. Okay, so before we already turn on the axis, so just let me turn it off. Axis off. Okay, now you can see this one axis is showing here. Okay, to see the wireframe you have to press F9. Sorry, F11. To see the wireframe you have to see press F11. So right now I want to make this thing perpendicular. So right now it is the U axis is parallel to the east axis. So I need to change to U to north. Yeah, now I will click apply, so it will become perpendicular. Yeah, if I click one more time it will become again horizontal. So these are the two methods you can use it. Choose your own method, which one is easy for you. Either you can go with the command or either you can go with the manual method. So my cylinder is horizontal now. Okay, now after this I want to create a dish. So let me create a dish. So new dish. Okay, enter. For a dish you need a dia. So let's say dia will be 2000. Dia is equals to the cylinder dia, so 2000. Height will be d by 4, that will be 500, and the radius will be 200. Click, and your dish is created. But you, as you know that the dish is going to create at the 0 0 coordinate, so it is created here. Correct? Again I am going to use the same command, rotate by 90 about Y. It will become perpendicular like this. Now as you know that the total length of the cylinder is 5 meter, it is created at the center. So this dish has to go to east direction by 2500 mm. So I can click on the dish and I can type command by east 2500 WRT/* enter. This is how you're gonna move your dish at this particular location. You can see here right now. Correct? Now after this dish there is one more dish that you need to create here. So there are two methods, again command method, or else you can use the manual method, right? So command method is like you can before that I will show you the manual method. So that is called as copy mirror. Option here you can see copy mirror, cursor, element, click on the cylinder. So the axis will be at the center of the cylinder here, right? You can see here, and then you have to just simply click apply. The dish will be created on the other side. If you want to keep this copy you have to say yes. If you don't want to keep this copy you have to say no. Click on the no. Okay, let me show you the command method also. So be on the dish, then what you need to do is you have to type a command, new dish copy previous. Okay, you have to create a new dish, but that should be similar to the previous dish. Okay, so previous, so just click enter. So it will create a new dish is created at the same location. Again you have to rotate it by 90 and one more time, so it will be on the other side. See, or else you can directly type rotate by 180 about Y, that will also work. And then you need to move this one here. So previously I show you how I moved it with the command method by east 2500, or else this time you can use this command by west 5000. Okay, this will also work. But for example I want to move this one with the manual method. So move, position, graphics, cursor, choose here designated point, and then you have to press your left mouse button, touch the dish and select this P point, and then where you want to merge it, then press the left mouse button and select this P point, and then you have to click apply and cancel. So it's a manual method. So this is how you're gonna place your dish here. As you can see here, both the dishes are attached with the cylinder. Now you need to create two boxes under this one. So let's create the boxes. Okay, so for boxes what you need to do is again you have to type new box, enter. Now for box you have a X length. So x length will be is equals to, x means east west, y means north south. Okay, so x length will be east west, so let us take 300. Y length will be the dia of the cylinder, so let us take 2000, and the z length let us take 1500. Okay, and enter. So as you can see here, again it is coming at the center of the axis. Now the box top has to merge with the center line of the cylinder. Okay, so center of the cylinder means the total height of the box divided by 2. So what I need to do is by down. How much is the total height of the box? It's 1500. So by down 750 WRT slash star enter. So it is by down. Now you need to move this box at this east direction by 1500. So by east 1500 WRT slash star enter. So this is how you're gonna place your box. This is basically called as saddle support for the horizontal equipment. Now again you want to mirror it, so let's go and copy, mirror, copy element, click on the cylinder and just click apply. It will create on the other side. Retain created copy, yes, and cancel. So this is how you're gonna create your what equipment. So just a very simple equipment which I created here. Now let's move on to the creating a nozzle. So go to the equipment. Here you can see nozzle. So the hierarchy is maintained in this way. In the similar way, below the box, click on the box and then click on the nozzle. So the create nozzle form will open. Always remember the nozzle, there is a naming philosophy for the nozzle, like the equipment name slash nozzle name. So equipment name is D dash 10001 slash n1 nozzle, enter. Then you have a nozzle specification that you need to select. So what in your project, whatever the specification for the nozzle created, that you need to select. So let us go for NC nozzle. And now this is a generic type, so it will show you the ratings and all those things of the flanges. So let us go for 300 rating, 300 rating flanges. Nozzle has a flange nozzle it is. So it is 300 rating. Then the bore, let us take 100 mm 4 inch, and the height. Okay, now careful here. The height of the nozzle is always calculated from the center of the equipment. Okay, so you have a center line of a equipment, and from the center line you have a nozzle. So you have to create a nozzle in this way. So the height is calculated on the from the center line of the equipment. Okay, so what height you need to give here, because you don't have any GA drawing, it's a dummy equipment. So if you don't have in future also, if you don't have any vendor drawing, but still you need to calculate the height of the nozzle, so that will be equals to half OD plus 300 mm. Half OD means half OD of the cylinder plus 300 mm. So in this case, half OD is what? OD is 2000 mm. So half OD is 1000 plus 300 mm is 1300. So 1300 mm is the height of the nozzle from the center. Okay, just click on create. It will create at the center. Now you can press F11. You can see here it is creating at the center. Now what you need to do is, here you need to understand on what direction, on which direction your nozzle is pointing towards. So my right now it is pointing in the west direction. This is the face and this is the body of the nozzle, right? So my nozzle has to pointing towards upward direction. So what you need to do is, you have to rotate your nozzle. You have to type here 90-degree angle, and right now it is rotating about X, but you have to rotate about Y and apply rotation. So now this is facing upward. Now it is a position here, so you have to give a value of this one as 1300, so it will bring it up, because from the bottom of the body nozzle to the top is 1300 mm. And then if you want to move like at a particular distance towards east direction, let us say I want to move it towards east by 1000. Okay, and just click next. So your nozzle is created and then you can see it here, right? Similarly, if you want to copy a nozzle which is at the bottom side, so you can like the same size and rating of the nozzle, then you can do one thing. You just copy, mirror, cursor, element, click on cylinder and then type here D down direction and then just click apply. So it will create it at the bottom side. Okay, so this is how you're gonna copy the nozzle. But now this time you copy the nozzle, that's okay, but the size and rating of this nozzle is different. So basically I'm trying to say how to modify a nozzle. So let us go and modify a nozzle. So be on the equipment, here you can see the modify tab. Inside this there is a nozzle attribute, so click on that. Now it is asking to modify this one, so you can modify here. Let us say make it 150 rating nozzle fly, and size of this one let us take 3 inch, and the height remains the same, and then click next. So the nozzle is modified. So in this way you can modify the nozzle. Now let's understand how to create a nozzle at an angle. Okay, so if you want to create a nozzle at an angle, so always try to create the nozzle first in one particular direction, either upward, either east, west, north or south. Okay, so let us we already create this nozzle in a upward direction, so let's rotate this nozzle at a 45-degree angle. So be on the nozzle, just click cancel this form. Now you have to go to home, then you have to go to rotate, then you have to go to advanced, then you have to be on cursor. Now this time you have to choose the design point. Click on the design point and then press your left mouse button and touch the nozzle, and go to the bottom side of the nozzle, and you can see here there is a P point. I think something is wrong here. So let me press escape again and then go to cursor design point. Okay, it is not picking up a point, so let me take cursor design point and take a P point of this one, right? And then you can give a value of 45-degree angle. Now this is your D direction, right? So it's okay, and then you can see, so it's rotating, right? Always remember the rotational is always perpendicular to axis. Okay, if this is perpendicular, that's why it is rotating in this way. If you want to rotate in its own way, own direction, then you have to give a value called as, like for example, north. So okay, in this way now it will rotate in a different fashion. See, okay, press F11. See, so I hope you understand the importance of selecting the direction. Okay, so let me bring it again D, and then it will be rotating in this way. So this is how you're gonna use the rotation of nozzle at a particular angle, correct? So this is basically, these are the things that you have to understand in creating an equipment. Yeah, one more thing that I need to explain here is how to set the ID point. ID point is very important because that ID point coordinate is low is showing in the layout also, and even though you have to shift this equipment at a particular coordinate, so before that you need to set the ID point. So to set the ID point, go to the equipment, and here you can see the origin. Okay, before origin, first of all check where is the ID point of it right now. So be on the equipment level and then type command axis at C. So right now it is at the center. Okay, now I am going to modify the ID point. Go to origin, equipment ID point, and now click on this cylinder and then select this one. So it is saying return to initial region. No. Now check the axis at CE command. Now the ID point is located at this particular position. Now you can move your equipment at a certain coordinate. So if you want to move your equipment at a certain coordinates, so you position move, oh sorry, not this, move offset, and then you have to select the current element, and then you can give a coordinate like east 5000 or north 5000. It's automatically see moving. Okay, and up value, let us say you want a 2000. So apply, so your equipment will move at a particular coordinate if you know the coordinates. Otherwise you can use by south, by east, by north, by west, all those things. So this is all about your equipment. Now let's move on to the piping. Okay, so in the equipment you must have to follow a hierarchy, that is your site and then zone. These are the common things. It is already created by your admin, so nothing to worry. What need to worry is you have to follow equipment. Below the equipment you have to create the primitives or sub equipment, and then primitives, and then below that nozzle. So the sequence that you need to maintain is this for the equipment. Similarly, for piping, you will have a hierarchy like called site, and below that you have a zone, and then below that you have a pipe, and below that you have a branch, and then below that you have a component, right? So this is about the piping hierarchy. This is your piping hierarchy. Piping hierarchy, correct? So this is what you need to follow the for the piping. So now let's move on to the piping. So I have a piping zone here. Okay, so I have a piping zone here. So for that, before that, you need to switch your discipline to piping. Once you switch your discipline to piping, then you can see there's a piping tab added here. So in this piping tab, this is the two most commonly used piping tab. One is to create a pipe and one is to create a components. Okay, so what you need to do is first you need to create a pipe. So let us take a pipe from here. So be on the zone level, click on the pipe. Now this is the piping creation form. This form is used to create the pipe only, not the branches or any component. Okay, so this is just to create a pipe. Okay, so every pipe has a naming philosophy. Every pipe has a pipe name philosophy. Okay, so how to give a pipe name? It is given in your PNID. Okay, but just for practice, I am just going to explain you. Like it can be in this way, like 4" dash PG dash 1500 dash A1A dash IH. Yeah, so this is the piping name philosophy. Like what is this 4". 4" is the pipe size, PG is the fluid code, 1500 is a unique pipe number, A1A is a piping spec, IH as a insulation type. Okay, now if you have something else that also you can add it here, like area number and blah blah things are there, so you can add it. So sometimes people write it in as a 4". Sometimes they will write it in like nominal bore form, like 200 or 100 yeah, 200 so it depends. Okay, but these are the things that is important in a pipeline number. Okay, so let me give the same name, 4" dash PG dash 1500 dash A1A dash IH. Okay, but in this particular spec I have a in this particular project I have a spec called A1A, so that's why I'm using A1A. Otherwise you can use your own spec in your project. So A1A, click on the A1A, then you have to select the bore. So bore is given here 102 for 4". And then insulation, if you have an insulation, you can use the insulation type, whatever insulation you have. IH is here, tracing, temperature. Now temperature of a line is given in a line list. So you can take that from there, pressure and slow preference, and then click apply. Once you click apply, the pipe is created here. Okay, with a branch also. And as you can see here, the new form is open, and this form is nothing but your component form. This is your component form, right? So in this component form, what are the information you are getting? First one is your pipe name. If you want to again go back to the pipe and change the piping spec and the bore of the pipe, then you have to go and click on this pipe, so it will take you to the first page. Correct? If you don't want to go to the first page, then again go to the component form, and this is your component form, right? So piping component form is available here. Now in this one, as you can see, the piping spec is already given as A1A. Piping spec is already given as A1A. Now it has a branch one. Whatever the number of branches you have, it will be listed here. So right now it is having a branch. Every branch has two things. One is called as head and one is called as tail. Okay, so right now the head is not connected to anything and tail is also not connected to anything. So this is your first form of the component, and then the second part is this one. So if you want to be on the branch, click on the branch level. Okay, and if you want to do any changes here, you can do the changes of the branch spec and all those things, you can do it. Second thing is, right now the branch spec is A1A. If you want to change it, again you just click on this and then you can select from here A3B or whatever branches you want, you can change it and apply. Okay, so this is done. Now branch slope, right now we are not providing any slope, so slope is unset. Again the branch head and the branch tail. Now it is saying that if you want to connect your branch head to some nozzle or something, then you can click on it. Okay, so branch head, and then it is there are four or five tabs are there. The most commonly used is this arrow and this one, the top one and the bottom one. Okay, So what is the purpose of the arrow? Arrow is going to select the items to which your pipe is going to connect. So let me connect my pipe. Click on the arrow and it is saying identify element to connect. So click on this nozzle. Your head starts from here. Correct? As you can see, connected to nozzle D 10001/N1. So this is the information of your head connected to a nozzle. Similarly, if you want to connect your tail, you can connect a tail and click on the arrow, and then you can connect on this bottom nozzle. So head and tail is connected. Okay, but sometimes you have a head at from the battery limit, so it will be open. Sometimes you have to leave your piping at the battery limit, so the tail will be open. Okay, so that is a different scenario. Right. So once the pipe and branch is created, what you need to do next? See again, when the head is connected to a nozzle, it fetches some information. What are the information? Bore, connection, and the direction of the head. Right. So to create a component here, what you need to do is you have to go to create component form. So this is your create component form. Click on it, and then the first component that you wanted to add here is the gasket. So as you can see here, these are the standard components. So flange, elbow, T, reducer, wall, atta, coupling. What is this thing? Where it's a weld, then bend, OLED. Then what is this? Coupling. This is the instrument, and this is your cap, and this is your gasket. Something you have in the additional also. This is your cross. This is your closure. This is your blind flange. This is your F tube, fixed length tube, and this is your drain assembly. Okay. So I just wanted to add a gasket. Now some of the items are like grayed here. What does it mean? It means that particular item is not available in this particular spec. Suppose you want something which is not available in the spec right now at the moment. So you have to check first one document that is called as piping material specification. In the piping material specification, if it says this component has to be added, then you have to contact your E3D admin or your catalog admin to add that particular component for you. So let me create the first component, that is gasket. So this is my gasket. Now here we have a two option, that is one gasket of 1.5 mm race phase 150 rating, and another gasket is race phase 1.5 mm 300 rating. So which you want to choose, that depends on you and the requirement. So requirement says if it is a A1A spec, it means 150 rating spec, so definitely you need to choose 150 rating gasket. So I will click on this gasket and I will click on this create component form. It says incompatible connection type. Now what is the reason of that? Because the nozzle is 300 rating. So this throws an error. So let me click OK. So again still it is creating a gasket, but it will give a spool. Now as you can see here, can you see this part? The light gray part, it's an opaque part. So why it is coming? Because this line is has an insulation. You given an insulation of IH. Now if you don't want to see the insulation right now at the moment, what you need to do is go to view graphics, and you can see here you already turned the insulation to 75%. Just turn it off, obstruction, turn it off, and just click apply. The insulation will be gone from here. Okay, now by mistakenly I added a gasket of what, 300 rating. Okay, or it's a spec of A1A, so the nozzle has to be 150 rating. So how to modify the nozzle, I already mentioned you, but let me do it one more time. So just go to the nozzle. Okay, go to the equipment, modify nozzle, and then what you need to do is change it to 150 rating from here, and the size will be 4 inch, right? And rest of the thing will remain as it is. Okay, and then just cancel this create nozzle form. Okay, now what you need to do is you have to be on the gasket again. Okay, but before that, go to the branch, because I need to connect my head again to the nozzle, because the attributes are changed, right? So first of all, disconnect the head and again click on the arrow and then click on the nozzle. Now you can see it is connected. It's changed here, 150 rating. Okay, so now you have to go to the gasket, go to the create component form. Okay, now as you can see here, so let me go to the gasket, let me go to reselect the gasket, and now let me change it to this. Okay, so the gasket is reselected. Now what you need to do is you have to connect. You have to connect this gasket. So right, so I can use a command to connect it, CONN. Now you can see the gasket is connected. Okay, so if you don't want to use this form again and again, you can use a command method to create a next component. I will show you. That is called as new flange chew all. So it will open the same thing that is you are showing seeing here. Okay, but before that I need to select it. So let me select the weld neck flange and click OK, and then I have to type a command again, connect. So you can see the flange is connected here, correct? So I think now you can add most of the component to this pipe. Yeah, okay, but before that let me finish this fluting. So let me add some of the elbows, and let me say it is 45-degree elbow. Now it is rotated in a particular direction. Okay, leave it like that. So let me create one more elbow, 90-degree elbow. Now okay, now how to use a model editor? Or it is something in an awkward position, so double click on it. Your elbow is here. Now you can see the modify option is given here. You can, it's outside a particular angle. Actually the problem here is because of this nozzle, it is in an awkward position. So what I need to do is, first let me bring this nozzle to a particular angle. Okay, so be on the nozzle right now, and then go to rotate, advance, cursor, design point, select this and rotate, and done. Okay, let me save my work. Okay, now once these things happen, now again you have to connect your branch head. Okay, so again I want to connect my branch head. So again you have to go to the branch, so be on the branch. Yeah, see, now see, you can see the error is throwing position error, reconnection required. So first of all disconnect, and then click on the arrow and then reconnect. Yeah, and then be on the gasket and then type the command connect. So it's connecting. Okay, click on the flange, connect. Click now I want to delete an elbow, so go to delete and here use delete current element. Okay, current element. So delete is delete, elbow is deleted, then type connect. This is how it is going to do. Then you have to turn the direction towards the south, so I will say direction south. So it will rotate in the south, or else you can use this model editor here also. Yeah, this modify option, so you can use this modify option to change the direction of elbows, either east, west, or wherever you want, south, north, south, right? Either you can use this, or else you can use the model editor. So model editor, double click on it. This is the model editor. Either you can stretch it, right? Either you can rotate it at any particular angle. So you, this is how you're going to use the model editor, but be careful while using this. Okay, now after this elbow I want to create one more elbow, so let me create one more elbow, 90-degree, create. Now I want to give a piping spool between these two. Either you use a command method called as like clear 500, or let us say clear 1 meter. So 1 meter is there. So this is how you're gonna give a spool, or else go to modify and here click on it. So spool and distance. So spool, and then you can type 1000. You can type 2000. So it will be like this. Okay, now if you want to do some changes in this without using this, double click on it. So model editor is open. Now you can right click on this, enter value, and just give a value of -1000. So it will go back to 1000, right? Okay, but now I forgot, I want to put a wall here. So how I am going to do a wall? Just click on the previous component and then type flange, uncheck this. Flange is created, then gasket, 150 rating gasket is created. Then you have to put a wall. So let's put a glow wall. It's created. Then again gasket, created. Then last time flange, and this is how it is going to get. So this is an assembly right now. This is an assembly right now. Now I want to shift the whole assembly by 100 mm. So just double click on it. Now you can see again the moderator is open. You can simply drag here and there, right? For example, I want to create, and after this just click on the elbow, so that this is the last component. I want to create a new elbows with the command method. So new elbow, choose all, enter, and then you can choose the 90-degree elbow from here. Just type connect to connect it, and just type direction down, and then you want to give a spool. So clear, let us say 1500. Yeah, this is how you're gonna create. Now I want to move this whole wall here. So there are two methods: either delete one by one and create a new one by one here, or double click on this wall and then simply bring your cursor here and just simply drag. So even though it will change the hierarchy also here, so you can use this modulator very efficiently. Okay, now I need to connect this to this nozzle. So let me bring my elbow again. So one more elbow. Now again connect. Now this time I want to bring this elbow parallel to this nozzle, so I have a command through id at the rate, and then just click on this elbow nozzle. So it will bring exactly parallel to this, but still I want to go a little bit down. So by down, let us say 500, and then I want to change the direction of this elbow towards west, so direction west. Again new elbow, then connect, then through id cursor, and then click on this elbow nozzle. Now rotate this elbow towards north direction, so dir north. Again one more elbow, connect. Now this time I am not going to use through id cursor. First of all, okay, I'm not going to use command method, because otherwise people will thought that only command method is there. So you just bring it upward direction, then you can see this arrow to use through id cursor. So it is coming exactly below this. Okay, before that go to element snap and then click on it. Yeah, so exactly below this, and then you need to create a flange. So click here, click on the flange, create, then you need to create gasket, 150 rating, create. Okay, so you are going to end your pipe right now, but it is not connected yet. So what you need to do is you have to go to the piping v1 branch. Okay, then you have to go to the tail. Now right now you are in the head, now you have to click on the tail. Now as you can see here, the tail is already connected to the T, but it is not connecting right now. Why? Because the size difference, the nozzle is of 3 inch and the pipe is of 2 inch. Okay, so there is a mistake. What we need to do is we need to add a reducer here. So let's add a reducer after this elbow. So go to the create component form and then click on the reducer, right? Now what is the size of this? Is a 4-inch line, the reducer has to be 3 inch. So let me select it from here, reducer 3-inch concentric butt welded, and then click on create. So reducer is created. Now you need to reselect this. So either you can use a command called chew all. Instead of new elbow, new flange chew all, just type chew all, and then you can see automatically the current bore is 80. So command method is very effective. And then you just have to type connect, then you have to type next C will take you to the next component in the hierarchy, and then again you have to type choose all, and then select the gasket, and then you can see automatically the pipe is connected. But before that you need to bring this flange to this nozzle. So what you need to do is go to the backward mode. So there are two modes, one is forward mode and one is backward mode. Forward mode means head to tail, backward mode means tail to head. So right now I'm in a backward mode. Click on the last component and type connect, BAC connect. Once backward mode is written, no need to write again and again, and then say next C. So it will jump onto the previous component and then type connect, and then you have to make it again. FOR means forward mode. So this is how you're gonna do your piping. There are a lot of things to tell in that, but Yeah, those all are like scenario based, like drum piping, PSV piping, heat exchanger piping, column piping, reactor piping, filter piping, pump piping, and all those things. So those are the scenario based things where you learn more about piping, but this is just how to use a tool, simply creating an equipment and a piping. So I hope this video helps you a lot just to take an initiative of learning E3D. But yeah, later on, if you need more detailed videos, just give me in the comment section. Okay, I will try to make it. Thank you so much for your time.